Hey, good evening, freelance models. It is your girl, Zelda. I also go by Zeelynette, the business model, and I am coming to you live. This is my first official weekly webcast for 2026. First official webcast since everything that has taken place in my life. I'm pretty sure most of you are already aware of what happened. And before I go any further, I want to take this time out to say thank you to all of the women in this group that took the time out to either pray for me, send me positive thoughts, send me a positive message, the donation that you guys took up for me, whatever you did to help me during that difficult time in my life. I want you to know that I really, truly, sincerely, deeply appreciate you all, and I thank you so much. I am slowly getting back to normal / my new normal, which is life without my mom. But I understand that, that's part of life, and I'm going to continue to live my life as well as live out her legacy. So let's go ahead and get started with this week's weekly webcast. Another thing that I want to do before I share the topic that I'm going to talk about tonight is I want to welcome all of the new women that have recently become a part of this freelance model group. We have grown. I believe the last time I checked, we were around 124 people, but now we're a little bit over 130. So welcome, welcome, welcome to all of the new ladies. And if you are wondering what this group is all about, I will tell you real quick. This is an online support and resource group for models and women that are a part of the entertainment industry. So we provide support and resources in the form of education, empowerment, and sometimes we also have events. How we provide education is once a week, usually once a week. Sometimes it doesn't happen every week. But we try to go live at least once a week with some type of industry related topic or something that we feel like would be informational to you. So that's one way that we provide education. We also have events such as like training classes, webinars, seminars, model intensives, stuff of that nature. During those events, we also provide education as well to help you be the best model or be the best whatever you are in this group. In terms of resources, we do post a lot of castings in this group. We also send out emails with information on different castings and different job opportunities, brand ambassador opportunities. So if you are not a part of our email list, please drop your email in the comments so that we can add you to our email list. We usually only email like once or twice a week, if that, so you don't have to worry about us spamming your inbox. And trust me, when we send you an email, it is a legitimate opportunity. So yeah, don't worry about us spamming your inbox. But yeah, so that's what we do. So we're here to provide support and resources. If you have some type of event or show or something that you're doing out in the community coming up, feel free to share that with us, because we also like to support each other by going out to see one another in the various things that we're doing in the community. So don't be shy, interact. You're only going to get out of this group what you put in. So if you're just a bystander, an onlooker, you maybe check this group, like maybe once a quarter or whatever, you're not really going to get much out of it. So the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. All right. So now let me get into my topic for this evening. I want to share a few tips for when you are doing a photo shoot inside of a studio. And I felt like this would be a good topic because I actually just got finished with a photo shoot today. And today was my first photo shoot for 2026. I have put a lot of stuff on hold, because of what happened. But like I said, I'm slowly getting back into the swing of things. So today was my first official photo shoot. I shot with my sister, Sharon Polk. We also shot inside of the RTW Studios, which is located downtown in Orlando, Florida. It's a very nice studio. It's huge, and they have a lot of different settings already set up. And you can also like customize your set as well. So you can remove pieces from a set that's already set up and add to it, or you can bring your own props. It's a very nice space. And RJ, the photographer who we work with, I've been shooting with him for I think about 2 years now. Very professional, very creative photographer, very nice, very, very nice as well. So a few tips for when you're shooting inside of a studio. Tip number one, a lot of times in a studio, you're shooting against a backdrop or you're shooting against a wall. And sometimes that wall may have art pieces on it, or it just may be a plain wall. The same thing with the backdrop. It may just be a plain backdrop, or it may have some type of aesthetic to it or some type of texture to it. Okay. When you are shooting up against a wall or a backdrop, you want to make sure that you're standing at least 3 feet away from the actual backdrop. Okay, so if you picture it, you know how the backdrop comes down against the wall and then it flows out on the floor, right? So imagine the end of where the backdrop stops on the floor and the wall. You don't want to be completely up against that wall, okay? You want to be at least 3 feet away from the wall or 3 feet away from the actual backdrop itself, or kind of somewhere in the middle. And the reason why you want to be there is because if you are completely up against the wall, guess what? Your images are going to have a bunch of shadows, right? Now, I know sometimes, depending on what type of photo you're trying to create, the photographer and you may want those shadows there. But for the most part, when you're shooting inside of a studio against a backdrop, you don't want those shadows there. So models, that's how you get rid of those shadows. Make sure that you are standing at least 3 feet away from the backdrop or the back of the wall, or somewhere in the middle between where that backdrop ends on the floor and the actual back of it, okay? And again, the reason why you want to do that is so that you don't have a bunch of shadows in your picture. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, you know those big lights that are hovering over us? They look like a big giant umbrella. And they come in different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's a big square, but for the most part, it's usually like an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? It's a light, all right? I forgot the technical term for it, the actual term for it, but it's basically a light, okay? Now, models, you want to make sure that you're 3 feet away from the wall, right? And you also want to make sure that that light is positioned at a 45-degree angle above you, a 45-degree angle from your nose above you, okay? So imagine that my hand is the light, okay? So the light, wherever it's positioned, okay, you want to make sure that it is facing at a 45-degree angle away from your nose, all right? And the reason why you want it positioned that way is so that the light is evenly distributed throughout your photo, okay? Now, again, this is a bit technical, and usually the photographer is the one that's responsible for all this, but it's also good as models to understand some of this technical stuff, because it's going to help you maximize your time at that photo shoot. Let's say you only got an hour, like today's shoot. You know, I went in there thinking that we had a certain amount of time, but since another client had ended up booking the space, we ended up needing to shrink down our time a little bit, okay? So if you know some of this technical stuff, like knowing where to stand, knowing, you know, how to position yourself at a 45-degree angle from that light, you know, that's going to help you save time, and that's going to help you make sure that you're maximizing all those frames, okay? So one thing I get a kick out of, like photographers, they're usually taking like hundreds of different shots, right? And I love when I get the raws back and I'm going through the proofs, I love when it's like 60 out of 100 look good. You know what I'm saying? Like usually you get like for 100 shots, usually like maybe 10 to 12, 10 to 15 are good. But when you got like over 50 out of 100 look good, that means you as a model, you know what you're doing. You came in there to handle business and not waste time. So this is why I'm sharing these tips with you all so that you can maximize your time inside of a studio photo shoot. Because again, at the studio, you on that clock. When you outside, you outside, you ain't got no time restraints because, you can be outside as long as you want to. But at that studio is booked for 1 hour or 2 hours. And when your time is up, y'all gots to go. Okay. You gots to go. All right. So these little tips will help you to maximize your time. So again, that light, remember to make sure that you are positioned or that it is positioned at a 45-degree angle from your nose. And what that does is that makes sure that the light is distributed evenly throughout your photo. You ever seen some pictures where like the bottom was dark and then the top is light, or the left side is dark and the right side is light? It's because of how you were positioned, either by the light or you weren't close enough to the light, or it was how they had that light position. So if you know these things and your photographer really don't understand lighting, you can help them out too. You know what I'm saying? But I'll save that for a different topic. Working with photographers, I'll save that for another weekly webcast, okay? So that was tip number 2. Tip number 3 for shooting inside of a studio. It is all about planning ahead. So at the moment when you book that shoot and you know that that shoot is taking place inside the studio, you need to go on their website and look at their room, look at their spaces, okay? So you can see what color are the walls, what color backdrops do they have, what sets do they have. Why is this important? Because that's going to help you coordinate your outfit. That's going to help you with your theme, whatever theme of your photo shoot is going to be. That's going to help you. It makes no sense for you to like do like a glam shoot with a fabulous gown and the studio you go to, the only thing they have there is a white wall. So you got this fabulous gown on and you're only going to shoot up against a white wall. But if you would have did your homework, you would have known that ahead of time, and then you could have maybe prepared by bringing some extra props or even asking the photographer, hey, do you have some different backdrops that we can use? You know what I'm saying? So planning ahead is very, very important when it comes to shooting inside of a studio, because it is what it is. So if they don't have something there that you need, you want to make sure that you are bringing that, because you're not going to have time to run to the house and you only got that space booked for 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? So plan ahead. Okay, so go online, look at their website, check out their rooms, check out their sets, see if they have props. You want to check all that out ahead of time. You also want to plan your looks ahead of time. Also bring an extra outfit just in case you may have extra time left over. That way you are maximizing that time. Y'all, I know it looked like I do a whole bunch of photo shoots. Honestly, I really don't. It's just that when I do a photo shoot, I am shooting a lot of outfits and then I spread my content out throughout the year. So just because I do a photo shoot, I don't post every single photo, every single outfit right away immediately. No, I save my content, okay? Because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back to that studio or get to, to do another photo shoot. So yeah, so definitely make sure you're maximizing your time by shooting in as many outfits as you possibly can, okay? Now, you definitely want to talk about all this with the photographer, because some photographers are like, heck no, we not finna do 10 outfits in 1 hour. And some of them are like, yes, bring it all, bring the closet. So you definitely want to work all this out before you get to that studio, okay? Let me see what else. Oh, yes. bring props. I kind of already touched on that. But the key thing is if you're shooting inside of a studio, you want to plan ahead, okay? So check out the set ahead of time. Get your outfits together ahead of time. Find out what they have, what they don't have, so that you can bring any props that you need, so that the photographer can bring any props they need. And that way you're able to maximize your studio shoot, okay? If you're just tuning in, you can go back and watch the replay, but I will recap really quick. I only shared 3 tips. I could go into more detail, but that's what our classes are for. In our classes and our webinars and our intensives, we go into way more detail with some of the material that we share here in the group. So if you want more, make sure that you're definitely registering for the events that we have coming up. But real quick, tip number 1 was to make sure that you are standing at least 3 feet away from the wall or the back of the backdrop, because that is going to keep you from having a whole bunch of shadows in your shot. Tip number 2, that light that they have above y'all, whether it's the umbrella light or the light that looks like a box, make sure that that light is angled at a 45-degree angle, or even if they don't angle it, make sure where you position yourself when you pose that you're at that 45-degree angle from your nose, okay? So that that light is distributed evenly throughout your photo. And I'll give y'all a bonus tip too, okay? I love doing look away shots, you know, when I'm not looking straight at the camera. I love doing that. But one thing you have to be careful with look away shots is you want to make sure that you position your pupils correctly so that your picture doesn't have a whole bunch of this whiteness. All right? I know this is a lot of attention to detail, but it's these little nuancy things that take your images to another level, all right? So anytime you do a look away shot, you don't want your pupils all the way over to the left, or if you're looking to the right, you don't want your pupils all the way to the right. You want your pupils lined up with the tip of your nose, okay? And what that's going to do is that's going to make sure that you don't see a whole bunch of white. You see how I just did that, and you can see all that white? See, if I keep my pupils lined up with my nose, even on looking away, you can still see my eye. Now, you can't see it right now on this Facebook Live because I'm using a cell phone. I'm not using professional camera equipment to tape this live. So you probably can't see everything that I'm talking about, but, you know, just test it out, right? So if you do a look away shot, or even if you're looking up, you still want to make sure that your pupils are lined up with the tip of your nose, okay? So those are just a few tips, Again, if you want more, please come to our events. And speaking of events, we do have a couple of events coming up. On February 24th, we are going to be having our first webinar for the year. It's called Beyond the Beauty and the Brands. And during that webinar, we're going to be talking about the business side of modeling. There is a business side, and we as models, we need to be educated on the business side so that we're not taken advantage of, okay? So in that webinar, we're going to be talking about modeling agencies, how they work. We're going to be talking about contracts. Have you ever signed a waiver and was wondering what in the world you were signing? Well, we're going to talk about that, okay? And if you have questions about waivers, bring your questions to the webinar. Bring your questions to the webinar. I said it right. Webinar. Okay. So bring your questions to the webinar. All right. So that we can address that, because I know sometimes we're just so excited to do a photo shoot or to do, you know, whatever it is, a collaboration or whatever, and we don't read the fine print. And then something happens, and then we like, and then we can't say nothing because we signed it. We signed it, okay? Know what you're signing. So we're going to be talking about contracts. We're going to be talking about ethical things in the industry. We're going to be talking about working with photographers. So again, and we're also going to give a few financial tips for freelance models as well. So that's going to be happening February 24th. Congratulations to all the models that earn free entry. There's several models in here that participated in our social media challenge that we had in January. And just for participating, they get to attend the webinar free. Everybody else, if you want to attend, it's only $19.99. That's it. And for the information that you're going to be getting, it's definitely worth more than $19.99. But we're all about empowerment. We're all about educating and supporting one another. So that's why we're keeping the fee like really affordable. Okay. So that's coming up on the 24th. Ariel Adams, she has a makeup application class that is coming up in March as well. She's been posting it all over her social media. So if you would like, speaking of makeup, my face is beat, and guess who did my face? Miss Ariel Adams, the owner and CEO of RE Luxe. Yes, she has her own makeup line, guys. Yes, okay. And these lips, this is her. This is RE Luxe. This is called Wine, okay? This is her. This is RE Luxe. This is Ariel Adams, okay? So if you want to learn how to do your own makeup, okay, and not just cookie cutter, every student that is in her class, she teaches that student how to do their own makeup. Because makeup application, I used to think that it was just generic, like, you know, you just put your makeup on, you know what I'm saying? But depending on like who you are, your skin tone, what type of skin you have, your makeup application may be a little bit different. So she is going to teach you how to do your makeup. She's going to teach you like what colors are good for your skin, complexion, and stuff of that nature. So if you have never learned how to like professionally do your makeup, that would be a good class for you to take. And one thing I love about her class is you get the whole kit too. So you're not only going to learn how to put on makeup, but you're also going to leave with a whole makeup kit and the brushes. It doesn't get any better than that. So go to her page, Ariel Adams, ARIELADAMS. She has been posting it all month. So just go through her page and you will see the information on her class. Then in April, we have our model intensive coming up. It's a 4-hour boot camp and it's power packed. So in that boot camp, you're going to get 2 classes. You're going to get a class on Fashion Week 101. You're also going to get a class on high fashion runway, and that's going to be a technical skills class. So you're going to be up on your feet, learning how to do a high fashion runway walk in dresses. So you're going to have to bring a gown. If you don't have a gown, I'm going to see if I can try to get some, depending on how many students we have, I may look into seeing if we can have some gowns there, because I get it. Some of you, you know, you may not do formal all the time, so you may not have a formal gown in your closet. So I get it. So I'm definitely looking, trying to make sure that we have some there. But yeah, so those are going to be the 2 classes. And then we're also going to have photo shoots. So if you need your digitals done, or if you need some updated headshots or portraits, you'll have an opportunity to get that done during the intensive. You're also going to get a model comp card, which is very important. Gots to have these model cards, okay? Gots to have them, and gots to have those digitals, all right? And you're also going to have an opportunity to create a self-tape, okay? A lot of companies and clients are still doing online submissions. They ask you to upload a video, a personality video, or runway walk video, okay? So you're also going to have an opportunity to create that as well, all right? Now, you get all of that. All of that is valued at $500, but there is an early bird special, all right? So you can take advantage of the early bird special and get all of that for just $375. I'm going to start posting the flyer for that. I know I've been moving a little slow with my promotions. Thank y'all for being patient with me. But yeah, the promotions are going to start rolling out this week because, like I said at the top of the video, I'm slowly getting back into the swing of things. So once again, thank you for being patient with me. So those are all the events that we have coming up so far. I will be walking in my first runway show for the year in March as well. I'm going to be doing a la carte. I think this is going to be my third walk with them. Yeah, I think this is going to be my third time. And I get to walk for Dr. Bling. Dr. Bling chose me. I'm so excited about that. I have my fitting with Dr. Bling on February the 25th. I am looking forward to whatever this man is going to put me in, because he is a phenomenal luxury designer. So I am looking forward to that. All right. So that is all for now. Thank you so much for those of you who are watching live. Thank you for taking time out to watch. Or if you're watching the replay, thank you also for taking time out to watch. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the information that I shared in this video, feel free to reach out to me directly, or you can drop it in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Have a lovely rest of your night and a lovely rest of your week. Bye.